2024 was a wild year where I brewed up over 80 decks from all of the sets released. That's Murders at Karlov Manor, the Fallout set, Outlaws at Thunder Junction, Modern Horizons 3, Assassin's Creed, Bloomburrow, Duskmourn, and Foundations. And with so many sets, there were so many legends to choose from. So if you're feeling indecisive, let me share the best of those 80 brews from this year with a rundown of my 5 most popular decks from 2024. Keep in mind, these aren't the best or the most powerful, but the most popular, as voted by you and your view counts. Starting with number 5, Arabella Abandoned Doll. This $45 budget build-your-own precon was an immediate hit out of Duskmourn. My surprise for an uncommon legend. In fact, this sleek little Boros aggro brew focused on small creatures and safe attacks while damaging the entire table. It racked up some of the highest comments and likes from the entire year too. And I liked this commander so much that I made a second Arabella-led brew in the new Heir Apparent from Foundations, a surefire way to go wide with a board of small creatures. But unfortunately, between the time this brew was released in October and now, several key cards have spiked in price, leading to my original deck no longer being a $45 budget. Notable sudden increases include Fear of Missing Out, jumping to over $5 thanks to its inclusion in multiple decks. Enduring Innocent being on the cusp of $7 on its own right now, thanks to being played in multiple formats, and Uncommon Superstar from Duskmourn Untimely Malfunction now jumping up over $3. That's right, check your bulk for this one, it's a great get from the new set. If you look for specific printings of these cards though, like the foil or promo stamped versions, you might be able to find them a lot cheaper, but buyer beware, a budget deck will never stay a budget deck forever. Next up, my 4th most popular brew of the year is Massacre Girl Known Killer. One of my first brews of the year, everyone immediately had eyes on the new version of Massacre Girl from Murders at Karlov Manor. She's definitely a fan favorite character. But once she was revealed, many saw her to be the new Turgid, a fearsome mono-black commander that fits well at the lead or in the 99 of many decks. This control deck, focusing on keeping creatures locked down and drawing from it, didn't yet get the benefit of all of 2024's new cards, but was still an absolute nightmare to play against. Only getting better with each new set released, this brew ended up being played only once or twice before I took it apart. It just ended up being unfun in my play groups and super oppressive against creature or commander-based strategies. But if that's your cup of tea, there's a few new adds I definitely find room for in the list. Like Maha Its Feathers Knight. This new legend from Bloomburrow was the subject of its own brew on the channel to keep the board soft-locked of creatures, and that whole system fits seamlessly into Massacre Girl's deck. But so does Persistent Constrictor from the Duskmourn Commander precons, a persistent way to keep putting -1/-1 counters on opponents' creatures, and if they die, you get to draw from your commander. That's a whole lot of advantage. And speaking of drawing when creatures die, High Society Hunter from Foundations deserves a spot in the deck list too. You'll be ensuring your opponents can't stick a creature on the board, and alongside your commander, this will result in you keeping your resources capped all game long. I wouldn't expect to see this deck in play for me anytime soon, but I know some of you absolutely love this style of play. Speaking of decks in play, number 3 is Obika Splitter of Seconds. This deck is not only one of the channel's most popular brews of the year, but also one of my personal favorites. From Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Obeki is all about multiple upkeeps, and one that I have kept together all year long and have really enjoyed playing. You can catch me playing it over on MTG Mudsta's channel as well. The gist of the deck is this: get out 1 or 2 permanents that trigger in your upkeep, like Court of Ire, Court of Ambition, or Court of Embereth. Yes, we're court heavy. Then use Obeka like an upkeep-based fireball. Drop her into play, suit her up with haste enablers and equipment, and send her at an opponent's face. Once she connects, you get to move through your additional upkeeps and take out the whole table at once. Though this brew, too, can benefit from some new cards released after the deck and brew were put together. Like one of my favorites from the year, Leyline Axe. Giving Obeka double strike in any form is massive, and can result in the number of upkeeps you are looking for. Occasionally getting it into play for free is a sweet upside. Scrawling Crawler is just also a win con in the deck, not only hurting opponents when they draw cards on their turns, but with an absurd number of upkeeps, it just draws opponents to their doom. And the most versatile new black board wipe, Blasphemous Edict, is an amazing fit for the deck. Board wipes are always tricky, but to rebuild from this one costing just 1 mana sometimes, it makes getting your board back in order a lot easier. This is a brew that I'll likely keep together for a while. It's been fun, powerful, and never ceases to surprise opponents. One of my biggest surprises for the year was my second most popular brew, Slime Against Humanity. Now, this one is cheating a little bit because I technically shared 3 decks in the video, but the overwhelming interest in this new green any number of copies card for Murders at Karlov Manor blew me away. Folks were really interested in the different ways to use slimes, whether it be in a slime typal deck, a counter-focused deck, or a cascade deck. All 3 options saw all of you begging for more brews around this card. Later in the year, I even shared a 4th brew around Slimes Against Humanity, a CEDH brew led by the Wise Mothman that aimed to remove all of the Slime Against Humanity copies from your deck for fun and profit. While this one has remained popular, I can't say there have been many other new potential commanders released for Slimes this year. Oh, except for Flubs. Flubs was another wildly popular commander this year, with folks immediately taking to this quirky teamer legend. Who can't love this froggy little fool? But with Slimes, you get to actually benefit from discarding as many cards as he wants you to. As your Slimes get pumped for copies in the graveyard and in exile, you just can't stop the Slimes. But let me know in the comments which variation of a Slimes deck ended up being your favorite of this year. Share your cool personal brews as well. And lastly, my most popular deck of the year is the Necrobloom from Modern Horizons 3. Another cheat of an entry because I actually shared 2 different Necrobloom lists that both equally piqued interest of all of you. A landfall deck and a self-mill deck, both now with thousands of views on my Moxfield profile. These were both very strong combo-focused decks that sought to make infinite creatures, infinite mana, or infinite self-mill for fun and profit and the defeat of your opponents. This Abzan legend is a Field of the Dead on a stick, and boy were people sure interested in this banned in many formats land to be in your command zone. What could be broken about that? Well, surprise surprise, it got even more broken, as since the release of that video, we got possibly the most perfect include for the self-mill deck, Head Shredder. This one card added to your infinite mill combo puts every land in your deck into play for free, while triggering your commander over and over again. It is the perfect include and deserves room made for it in this list without question. But the landfall version got a cute new addition too with Loot Exuberant Explorer. At the very baseline, Loot is an extra land drop each turn, which is exactly what a landfall deck wants. But later in the game, he also digs for creatures to put straight into play, which is perfect for looking for the creature-based combo cards in the deck, like Scoot Swarm or Mirkwood Bats. This is another commander that just got better and better all year long, and is absolutely one to check out here on the channel. But be sure to let me know what your favorite of my brews from this year were. Did I inspire you to build anything? If I did, you better hit that subscribe button. And if you want to check out any of these brews, head over to my sponsor, Moxfield. Moxfield is the best deck building platform in the world and makes it easy to see all my brews all year long, all the time. With search and filter options, if you're looking for a deck, you know I've built it. Be sure to follow my profile while you're there. And if you're looking to pick up any cards, head over to my sponsor, Card Trader. Use my promo code right now for 5% off your first order of cards from any TCG. Their massive global marketplace makes it easy to find the cards you're looking for, in the treatments you're looking for, in the languages you're looking for, all hassle-free. Lastly, if you're looking to sell your cards, head to Card Conduit, the easiest way to sell your cards for Magic, Pokemon, or any other game. You can ship unsorted cards to Card Conduit, and they'll send you a check, easy as that. It's the quickest way to sell extra copies or just old stuff you have sitting around. Try them out now. And if you want to see any cool brews from this year, check out these other videos on the channel. If you're a fan and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do it now. But as always, folks, good luck and have fun.